Hey everybody, I just finished mixing some resin. I'm going to move it out of the way and just let it be sitting for a little bit. Let the paddle drip off the mixer. And did you know that you can charge that up, the Resiner's mixer, and it can be wireless after it's charged up, which is a fantastic feature. So you don't have to have cords running around everywhere. I just mixed my resin for 6 minutes. Today I'm using Counterculture medium viscosity. I'm going back to my first love. I got really used to working with that resin, and so I wanted to use it again today. Clear it, start my timer, and we're going to count up. I didn't do resin for a while because we moved. A lot of my stuff is still packed up, all my really pretty glass bits and pretty stuff. Everything I've got, most of it's packed up still. And I just have a little bit out on my working table. We're going to build a studio, which we've been in this new house a year, but we're not going to really get started till at least August. There's just been delays because of my husband's travel and so forth. I really wanted to just get back to trying the counterculture thing and doing it the way I used to do it, but there have been a gap of probably 6 to 9 months where I didn't do resin at all. And sometimes if you haven't done it like repetitively to get to a better artist at it, you kind of lose your skills a bit, so you got to kind of keep working with it. I'm going to tell you what I'm using today, because while I'm doing it, I'm probably just going to put my mask on and not be talking during the video, and that way it can also go a little faster for you as well. I got a little care package. I ordered one color from Just Resin. It came and they sent me a couple of bonus colors. I didn't even order these colors. I ordered a Mystic Gold, but they sent me a pink quartz and a champagne that are both kind of a metallic luster. I may combine the colors together, I'm not really sure, but I'm leaning towards that. And then I'm going to do a white. I'm going to use Armor Art white pigment paste and a little bit of angel wings, which gives it that little bit of shimmer. I got my little cups ready to pipe. I'm going to go back to piping it with medium viscosity. It's all timing and the warming of it. So I'm going to bring you back once we get past 20 minutes or so. I mixed 10 ounces of resin. I don't want to fill this mold up all the way because I probably want a background layer, and this mold is 13.5 or so inches long. It's an oval. It's an old mold. It will definitely need a top coat. It was covered in glitter, and I don't know where that glitter came from because it was in a box with other silicone molds. I'll keep getting that out, I'm sure, before I pour the resin in. Well, do I wait? Because so many of the YouTube artists that work with resin are doing the timing thing with the infrared thing, and that's good because it kind of tells people at what temperature they're starting this bloom effect or whatever. I can honestly tell you that, you know, if it's not above 90 degrees or so, it's not even ready. But you can also feel it. When you hold your cup of resin, like the white for the bloom or your other color, when you feel it in your hand, it should feel warm. It should not be hot, because if it's hot, you're too far gone. It's not going to be ready to use until it's warm in your hand. That's why I'm going to show you based on a timer today versus the infrared heat tool. It does have some micro bubbles, but I never have an issue with bubbles, especially with counterculture, really. Because once you pour it in your mold and all that, it kind of levels itself out. The bubbles kind of come to the surface. You're also working, this mold is probably 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch deep. So you're working in a really thin layer to do your bloom effect. You're not doing a super thick layer. I feel sometimes it's more successful the thinner your layer is, but you can't have it like super thin where it's just barely covering your mold. But if you want a background layer, you've got to have at least 1/3 of the mold left to pour that background color. I'm going to put about 1/2 ounce and a little bit more for the white. And that will be for my effects. So again, instead of waiting with the thermometer, I'm just going to do it on timing, and I'll tell you how it feels, how warm it is, that kind of thing. I'll use this thing that doesn't have stuff on it. I'm going to stick my stick in. So that's what I'm going to put on the end of it for now. Let's see how that looks. A few drops of alcohol ink by Pinata. It doesn't matter, I don't think what brand. 3 drops of white alcohol ink. The angel wings, just a little bit in my spoon there. Okay, I think I'm gonna do the pink quartz. Woo. It's warmer, so it's sometimes these pigments will get thicker on you, but because it's a little bit warm, they're kind of liquidy. I am going to give this a stir, and I just want to make sure it's nice and shiny and shimmery. I'm not going to put a whole lot on it. I'm just going to put it on the end of my stick for now, because I don't have a lot of resin here. It's only a ½ ounce or so. Make sure to rub your stick against the edge of your cup to make sure it gets the pigment off your stick. This is just resin champagne, and I just want a tiny little bit of it. So again, I'm just wiping my stick off and leaving what's left on that stick. Get a little bit more. So it's almost kind of a blushy, a warmer rose gold. I'm gonna use my low temp heat tool and try to get some bubbles out of here. Also use 91% alcohol or 99% alcohol and spritz the surface, and that'll release bubbles on top. We're at 22 minutes right now. I am going to use some alcohol inks. 24-piece Decorum. The colors I may use just a tiny bit of are peach, lemon, and avocado. You can see there's not much of this at all. It's just a ½ ounce or so, and it's about 1.5 ounces or 1 ounce or so of the white. we're at 50 minutes. Gonna turn off my timer, and I'll wait about 4 to 5 hours, and it'll be ready for a background layer. I didn't really think this out totally. Now looking at it with that pretty kind of warm champagne, that was the champagne in the rose quartz. I wish I had not used the pinky color. I wish I had kept it more in the warm tones. But I'm still hoping it turns out really pretty. And so yeah, I've just been playing with it a bit and adding some little dots, hoping they won't be too heavy in sync. Again, don't want blobbies. But I love the shimmer I can already see with that champagne-y just resin paste. It's really, really pretty. So, I'll be back. Okay, I have mixed up Counterculture Vast Set resin. This is the label, and mixed it for 5 minutes. Equal parts B and A. You can refer to video 1058 for any mixing videos, no matter what the brand or what have you. I've got 10 ounces of resin, and I put in a big dollop of the pink quartz, probably about a tablespoon, and a little tiny bit of Twilight, a little half spoonful of Twilight pigment, TLP pigment, and about 4 drops of fuchsia alcohol ink. So it's just kind of a, hopefully a neutral, pretty background layer for this. We'll see how it looks when we unmold. I'll let this settle out a bit. This sets up in about 10 to 15 minutes, so you don't have a lot of working time. And I'm just going to take an empty coaster and fill it up with the rest of it, and that'll be a background for something pretty. I also did about a half an ounce on a coaster for a top coat, so I could have done easily just 8 ounces for this last layer of the tray in the background. So I will be back tomorrow to unveil. Okay, it's been overnight. There it is. I'm going to figure out, I know it has to do with heat. This cools down first, and I know it stays warmer probably in the center, and so maybe I need to do it earlier in the timing. But this effect is so pretty. I love it because it becomes very kind of ethereal and gossamer looking. I probably shouldn't have used the inks either. I should have just used the white and the champagne color. So I lost a little bit of the champagne look, but it's kind of, you can see it etched into the white and the colors underneath a little bit, if you can see that. I don't know. Nevertheless, it's very pretty, and I will want to put a top coat on it, and it could be placed on an easel. It can lay down on the table. It can be in a vanity, and for a lady. There's so many options. So you can see that shimmer in certain lighting. I hope you learned something in this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Please comment. I would love to get some comments on my videos and hear from you about what you'd like to see next, or a certain color combination or whatever, or any tips or advice. So thanks so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Love you all.